My heart literally sank when Shivangi left with her father.
That wasn't a part of the script. Ideally, actually, on paper, once I leave, then I don't come back. Life comes back and bites you in the butt, and which is why like this show happened to see Shivangi's life and her relationship with Uday in more depth. It's going to be a fun because it's a very fun character.
Hi everyone, welcome to yet another episode of Spill the Beans on CNN News 18. I've got a very lovely face joining me here, Ahsaas Channa. Welcome to our show. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thank you, Sakshi.
How are you? You are basking in the success of Kota Factory 3. How do you feel? Let me just tell you that my heart literally sank when Shivangi left with her father. But then I got a respite and a sigh of relief when she came back for the results announcement.
That wasn't a part of the script. I think they wanted Shivangi to be a part of it, so they just got me. Ideally, actually, on paper, once I leave, then I don't come back in the show. So the director and the writers was just like, we need to get Shivangi back because it's Vaibhav's result, and the entire show is about Vaibhav and his IIT journey, and he needs his friends around him. So like, which is why they got me back, but. I really like the way they have given like a nice ending to Shivangi's character. I was very happy with the way things were this time, and you see a little bit of her journey also this time because she is the acne auntie of the group, and she's the one who's always been. She gives all the advice and all of those things, but this time we see a little bit of her journey as well, where she's also struggling, and you see a real side of her, which I was very excited to also play.
So can we have, can we expect a spin-off for Shivangi's story or maybe her trajectory and her relationship with Uday?
I had actually suggested this to the makers. I was like, we should definitely do a spin-off. And they were like, haha, we'll think about it. And I don't know, I've not heard anything till now. But I think it would be a great thing. I think to see Shivangi's life and her relationship with Uday in more depth is going to be a fun because it's a very fun character. And the relationship between Uday and Shivangi is also really fun. So it would be nice. I mean, if the makers are watching this interview, hopefully they'll get more ideas.
And the way you actually guide Uday, you are so strict with him, but you are the only one who actually keeps his character's sanity all throughout the seasons. But if I could ask you that when initially you received the script and you got to know that the entire series is going to be in black and white, when we as watchers, we as viewers were watching it, we thought that this is going to stay for a couple of episodes or maybe a couple of minutes. It's going in the backstory. Ultimately, it's going to become colored. But then they stretched it throughout the season. What were your initial thoughts when you got to know that the series is going to be in black and white?
So it was never going to be black and white before we got on board. We just knew that it's a show about Kota. And I remember the first season we shot in both black and white and color. So there were two monitors, and till the very end of the shoot, we nobody was convinced that the show was going to be black and white. But only one person was convinced, and the only one person was pushing for it, which is Raghav Subbu, who directed the first two seasons. And it was his vision, it was his idea. And obviously, because, like you said, there were lots of reservations about it being black and white because people thought that, okay, nobody's going to watch it, or I don't know how, we don't know how people are going to perceive it. And black and white shows, and I mean, black and white films only work, but when it's a series, when it's a continuous series, when it's a long format, people will tend to get bored, or they will something. Nobody was confident about it, but only he was, and which is why like we shot in black and white and color. And there were two, like I said, there were two monitors. So every time we used to watch playback on monitors, we used to see both black and white and color. And all of us, I think, towards the end, were just more inclined towards black and white because we started liking it a little too much. And also, it works very well for the show because when you go to Kota, at least what we feel, like the cast members feel, is that wherever we go to Kota, the world there is very black and white because students' lives are very, it's either IIT, it's either PG or studies, and it's all about studying and being in your books and stuff like that. So this was like what, and everybody has their own interpretation to it.
Hmm.
There is no explanation or there's no specific reason why the show is black and white. Everybody interprets apne aap, whatever. Like I think it was very stupid, or maybe it made sense. But what I thought is because the show is black and white because the books that
Yeah.
the students read are black and white.
Yeah.
And because they're always into their books, their world is also like that. This is my interpretation of it. We don't know.
That's
But
one way.
everybody, so like,
Very interesting. I never thought of
yeah,
it
this,
in this way.
and I asked Raghav this, and he's like, no, but okay, works. So, so he's never given a reason. But like, I think because we were seeing so much black and white constantly, we all were inclined towards it. And I think it worked very well for the show also.
Yeah, and if I could ask you about the research, because you've already mentioned that you met the students over there, you saw what their lifestyle actually is, but you represented a bio student. So how difficult was it कि आप bio की book पढ़े, cell के linings भी पढ़े, type of cells पढ़े? How difficult was it? Because are you a science student just for the beginner?
No, I'm an art student, so I don't
Okay.
have any relation with science, biology, maths, engineering, anything, physics, nothing. Uh, so like जो भी थोड़ा बहुत स्कूल में पढ़ा था वो भी ध्यान नहीं देती थी मैं because it never interested me. Like I remember being a little. I had a math phobia. Like if any time like the teacher would ask me to come and solve a sum on board, I used to start trembling. That's how scared I was. So I knew that this is something that I can't do, like pursue in life, which is why I took arts. But life comes back and bites you in the butt, and which is why like this show happened, and it was like, no, we will have to come and hound you with lots of physics and chemistry and stuff. But it was not as difficult as I thought it would be because it's all on paper and you just have to read and you need to know the basics. So once you know the basics and you know the pronunciations and you have writers constantly with you on set, and even before we go on floors for a shoot, uh, we have lots of workshops and lots of reading. So we are very well prepared before we go on board. So like for me, for Shivangi's character, because she's so good at what she studies, she knows every word, every biological word on the tip of her tongue. So it has to also sound like, okay, this is something that she knows and she's been reading. It can't be like Ahsaas has just read it and she's just rattoed it and she's come and spoken.
Yeah.
So to get that fluidity and to get that like that words flowing very easily, that took a little bit of a practice, and it basic research and getting to know what the course is, how the exams work, how the marks work,
Hmm.
all of that. So once you get to know all of that, so you get a little bit in the skin of the character. And Baki, there are lots of people who help you on set, so it was easy enough.
I'll tell you why I asked you this question because I myself was a biology student. And when I saw you on screen as Shivangi and the way you were narrating all of the words without any mispronunciations in the type of cells and everything, it sounded so apt. It sounded like a biology student and our life cycle. So thank you so much for doing that research and coming across
Oh,
as somebody who was a biology student. But let's talk a
thank you
little
so
bit
much.
about one thing that I saw in one of your previous interviews about you always wanted to becoming a heroine. Okay, now you are somebody that we very regularly watch on our OTT screens, be it in the girls' hostel, Kota Factory. You are a very prominent figure when we see the OTT world. So you are an actress. So according to you, what is that basic difference between a heroine or an actress?
Uh, Between a heroine and an actress, actually, that's a very good question. I think the way it totally depends on the project, and you can look like a heroine or you can become a heroine even on OTT. It depends on project to project. So the difference is about the kind of show or a film that you're doing. If it's a very massy, very heroine kind of a project itself, that's where you look like a heroine. But at the same time, if it's a film that requires lots of uh, acting driven, if it's an acting driven film or if it's a look driven film, so I think that is only the difference in my opinion. Like, I actually haven't thought about it. Whatever is coming on the top of my head, I'm saying.
Hmm.
But I think the only difference is the way an actress and a heroine looks.
Hmm.
Maybe that's what it is. Yeah.
But
Maybe I will think about it and come with a better answer to this. But yeah, I think this is what
what
it is
kind
for
of
now.
roles would you want to do, if I could ask you that?
Anything that challenges me. Like, I have only been doing till now, all the series that I've also been a part of have been very girl next door or has been very close to who I am as a person. I want now at this point I want to do something that is completely different from who I am, and
Hmm.
especially different from all the characters that I've played in the past. Like, there are lots of genres that I've not explored. Like, there's thriller, mind bending stuff. There's murder mystery, horror. I mean, I was a part of horror genre when I was little as a child actor, but as an adult, I don't think I've really explored that. And right now, also, like, uh, there was a this phase where there were no good horror movies being made or horror shows being made in India.
Hmm.
And now we've broken that. Like, there's a show called Typewriter that I it's an old Netflix show, but
Yeah.
very recently watched it and it was phenomenal. It was so scary. It was very well done. So I know that horror is also really blooming and is being made very well. So genres is what I want to really explore, and different kinds of more mature roles, because also I've been doing lots of teenage drama, lots of school drama, education drama. I also want to, like, change that and do challenging stuff.
Definitely. And since you touched upon doing the horror flicks in the past, let's talk about when we saw you as a boy in Vastu Shastra, we saw you in Kabhi Alvida Na Kehna, in Funk also we saw you. You have been acting since you were very young. You still are very young, but you started as a kid. When you were represented as a boy, do you think that was the most challenging part to sort of come out from that boy image and tell the world that, you are looking at me on your screens as a boy, but I am actually a girl?
Uh, when I was doing these films as a boy, everyone around me knew I'm a girl. So, like, the people who were, I mean, obviously they knew I'm a girl, but like, for the audience, it was a little difficult to, like, stop doing boys role. And then I did my first film as a girl called Thunk, which was with Ram Gopal Verma, and was a
You did
horror
two
film also.
Funks. You did Funk 1 and Funk 2, both of them. Yes.
Yes, yes, correct, correct. So I mean, and again, it's for me. I feel touchwood. I've been very lucky because the transition has been smooth enough. Luckily, I got at the right time. I got hooked, and I was able to, like, properly play a girl in it and just tell the world. And that was sort of a hit also. Like, enough people watched that
Yeah.
film. It was talked about. It was a good film. So, like, that word spread very quickly.
Hmm.
But now at this point there's no problem because people have completely forgotten about, uh not forgotten, but like, they don't associate that little child with me right now. Like,
Hmm.
when I go and tell people that I was that boy, it's a surprise to them. So right now, who I am as a person right now is a very different. I'm a new person for everyone, and when I go and tell, and that little kid is a different, separate person. You know what
Hmm.
I mean?
Yeah.
So, so that transition has been very smooth because the projects that I got, one after the other. Uh, so now I feel like lots of people don't know that I was that child.
Okay.
And they just look at me as an individual girl right now.
Hmm. Hmm.
So everything has worked out very well. Like, everything has been very smooth like that.
Okay. And since there are two parts of my interview, this is the last detailed question. And it's a very crucial one because you're very young. So I would like to ask you your stance on online trolls, also social media. Because as youngsters, we are spending a heavy amount of time from our day on social media. But then it comes with pros and cons. You can quickly rise to fame by creating some sort of content, but then you are faded out of the space very quickly as well. So what is your stance on the trolls as well as on this quick fame on social media?
So for me, I won't be able to talk in detail about quick fame because for me, I've always been an actor. So when I want to stay relevant on social media, and because I have the kind of followers I do, to stay relevant is to be myself and to keep posting as much as possible. Because for an actor, I feel like social media is their portfolio. Now, every director, producer, and casting director, whenever they hear your word, the first thing that they do is open Instagram and find you and see your profile. And whatever you want to show the world, and your bio data is literally right there. If you want to show your skills, if you want to tell people that you can dance, you can make a 15-second reel, a dance reel, and put it out there and people can watch it. It's sort of like a 15-second audition. So for me, that's what's important.
Hmm.
But because I've never been a content creator or an influencer and my career is not very social media driven, I don't know how people manage that. But my opinion is that even if it's a short-lived fame, I still feel like it takes you places and people know about you. And even if, like, we have a whole different platform
Hmm.
of entertainment and for people to just, because everybody has these content creators and influencers have a platform in their hands. They can build a career out of it in their hands. It's all in their hands. They produce it, they make it, they write it. So they can do whatever they want and they have a big opportunity to show their skills and talent. Um, and it always works. If it's good, it always works. This is what I think. Something
Hmm.
that I genuinely feel that if a content is great, it will
Hmm.
reach the right people. And followers don't matter. Even if you have like 1 lakh followers and people are watching it, you are still getting that recognition. And I think that's commendable. I really, really, I feel like we're in a great space like that. And about trolling, like I'm someone who gets trolled enough,
Hmm.
and it's a part of your life, and it's not just on social media. Like before social media existed, there were other ways that people used to troll or criticize. I feel actors are always in scrutiny. They will always be judged because they're in the public eye. No matter what they say, no matter what they do, they will people. There are going to be people because you're constantly being judged. So you can't get away with it. It is a part of your, when you work for fame, you will uh, inevitably get trolled and negativity. So that
Hmm.
is a part of it, and you just have to deal with it, and you have to find a way to deal with it. The way I deal with it is that I ignore it as much as possible. Like constructive criticism is something that I completely welcome and I want. But when we
Hmm.
talk about trolling, I completely ignore it. I just don't look at it only. Like I know there's somebody is making fun of me or there's a reel about me which is completely like attacking me. I don't watch it. I really don't know what is going on. Ignorance is bliss for me. And I also know that I'll tell you one more thing. These trollings and these cancel culture, in my opinion, is very short lived. Like people move on from one person to another very quickly. Like any trolling you see, it lasts for only a week or a two.
Hmm.
After that, people forget and move on. And that person also moves on, they do something else, and then people will love that person again. It's just very unpredictable. So I feel like ignorance is this. You do whatever you can. Be as careful and mindful when you say, when you do something. And just like do your thing. That is what I believe in.
What a beautiful breakdown of that, Aisa. So that was the end of our detailed conversation, but I've got a quick, fun, rapid fire round jotted up for you. Let's begin straight away with that. My first question in the rapid fire round for you would be your celebrity crush.
It's very easy. It's Diljit Dosanjh. It's not a crush. I really, really love him. Like I'm not saying that I have a crush on him. I just like I'm very charmed by him. Like I love everything that he does. I really want to work with him also. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll try to put this message across to Diljit. Diljit, if you're watching this, Aisas has a message for you. Okay, one incident that changed your perception for life.
Oh, uh, one I really can't think of something specific. But what I can tell you is that I went to Spiti. It's not rapid, sorry. It's a very elaborative answer. These are going to be very long answers, but not long. I'll keep it short only. But I went to Spiti, Lahore, 2 months ago. And that actually changed my life because I have never seen mountains in my life. Like this was the first time I went to mountains and saw mountains. Um, and I was just very like blown away and very overwhelmed by how beautiful India is. Like we spend so much money for Switzerland and stuff and go and see mountains there, but we are there's so much to explore in our own country where we are right now. And I just realized that I need to travel more. I need to see these things. I need to meet more people. And I think that really that's put me into this whole another that has changed my life a little bit.
Okay. One useless social media trend, according to you.
Trolling people.
Okay.
I think it's become a trend
Your
only. Trolling people. Yeah. Sorry.
okay. Your favorite Kota Factory meme.
There is this one meme where Meenal character says, "कितना पारिवारिक माहौल है." It's from season one. That's very funny.
I love
That's
that.
really really funny. Yeah.
Okay, if you were to choose a favorite season of all three of them of Kota Factory, which one would it be?
Season three. For me, season three is it. I really really like it. Also, मेरा role उसमें ज़्यादा है तो इसलिए.
Are you a Marvel fan as us?
Yes.
Are you? So, which team are you in? Deadpool or Wolverine?
I'm a
ठीक है.
Deadpool fan. I'm a actually DC fan, and I'm a Dune fan. If it makes sense.
Oh yes, and we all are waiting
Yeah.
for the next season of TBS.
Yeah.
Okay, and last but not the least, is there going to be a Kota Factory 4?
Nobody knows. Like I'll tell you, even the director of the show doesn't know that right now. I'll be very honest with you. We are all in the dark.
Okay, Asas, it was a very beautiful and a constructive chat with you here on Spill the Beans on CNN News 18. It was lovely having you here. Hope to see you really, really soon, maybe next time in person when you come to Delhi. All the very best for the future projects that you are at present working on. We all know, we saw your story that you have shared on your social media. You are doing some shoots.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It was lovely talking to you, Sakshi. Hopefully, I get to
Oh,
meet you in person and do this in person. Thank you.
yes, yes. Okay, bye, Asas. Thank you so much for joining us.
Bye bye.